this election, Labor didn't even present a defence policy. The Liberals announced theirs only days before the election, and even then wouldn't say what they'd spend money on and against which country these armaments were aimed for. I mean, I wonder whether both sides now are too scared of backlash from Chinese Australian voters to talk about the communist regime as a threat. What does this election tell you about our ability to protect ourselves given that parameter?
Well, this election was terrible from national security. So, Andrew, I say in a column tomorrow, the world as we know it is ceasing to exist, and we're having a debate about work from home. You know, this was a ridiculous election. It was ridiculous on both sides. It's a terrible outcome for Australia. Normally I would prefer a majority government, but I actually thought it would be bad if Albanese got a majority this time, because it would reinforce every bad instinct in the Labor Party, and that's what it's going to do. You govern by welfare payments, you say nothing about defence. Labor has promised effectively to do nothing on defence. Now, Chinese Australians tend to vote against the coalition, but I don't think we can blame them for that, and I don't think we can sort of impute anything about their loyalty or anything like that. The coalition makes no effort with ethnic voters. It's dumb, it's stupid beyond belief. You know, I used to live in Sydney, and being a foreign editor, I'd go to ethnic functions every other night. Every one I ever went to, Bob Carr was there. He was then the Premier, and there were Labor politicians galore. You never saw a Liberal. Now, the Chinese diaspora in Australia is intimidated by the Chinese government. The Australian state doesn't protect them. Dutton and Morrison kept talking about going to war with China when they had no armaments. That was very stupid. There's a problem with the name. You talk about the Chinese. That has an ethnic connotation as well as a national connotation. I've suggested people should use the official title for the government of China and call it the People's Republic of China, or the PRC, to get away from using the ethnic connotation. And of course, Labor ruthlessly exploits anything the Liberals do in that field. But the Liberals can't just whinge and moan about it. They've got to go out and court these voters. That's what politics is. You believe in something, you fight for it, you polarise the electorate, and you win the argument. You've got to win the argument against amongst Australians of very diverse backgrounds.
You're so correct. And the clumsy way of the terms you use are so important. I mean, I've got many Chinese in-laws whose families have been here for 100 years longer than my own, broader accents than my own, to sort of lump them in with people just come in from China with relatives still there, liable to being blackmailed or whatever, or threatened by the Chinese Communist Party. I think it's a huge mistake, but there you go. Greg Sheridan, thank you so much for your time.